Hello, I'm Elisa. Thank you for joining me. I'd like you to come lying on your back now with the soles of your feet together in prayer. Let your shoulders relax. Lay your hands on your belly and on your heart. Close your eyes and consciously unclench your teeth to relax your jaw. And just take a moment or three to simply arrive, to feel the breath moving in and out of your body. To be aware of the breath being received into the palms of your hands as it enters your belly, your chest, and feeling the breath as it departs, as your belly caves underneath your hands and your heart softens. So just allowing yourself this opportunity to take stock, as always, to take inventory, to become that little bit more conscious and aware of how you feel. Perhaps to set any positive affirmation, any intention, your own personal I am statement, if you like. An affirmation just maybe for the practice, your time spent on your mat, or maybe something that would take you through the rest of the day or even the coming days ahead. Continue to breathe slowly and steadily as you release your hands from your belly and from your heart. Lift your head to accommodate your hands in your palms as you interlace your fingers and lay back into your hands. Ground the shoulders, wing out the elbow tips. As you exhale, squeeze together your knees, your elbows, and bring both to meet somewhere above your navel, coming into a little ball. And then inhale, reset your feet and butterfly on the floor, lay back into your palms. Exhale again, squeeze everything to the midline. Inhale, recline, opening your hips and opening your hearts. Exhaling, squeeze. And inhale. Keep going with that for a couple more rounds on your own. Deep breaths as you recline, slow exhalation as you come into that little ball. Practicing one last round. And then meeting each other back where you began. Take a deep breath in and just lift your head and shoulders off the floor, keeping your neck long. Your head cradled in your palms. Exhale and then slowly draw your left elbow somewhere towards your left knee, your left thigh. Inhale, come back, hovering the head, and then exhale, come over towards the right thigh, looking straight up at the ceiling through navel, heart, and eyes. Back to the center, take a deep breath in. Exhale, lean over to the left as far as you can go. Inhale, back to the center, navel drawn to spine. Exhale, draw the right elbow to the right thigh. Keep the elbows out of your peripheral sight line. Inhale, back to the center one more time. Exhaling. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale, come back to the center line, and as you exhale, release your head back into the cradle of your palms. Release your hands, pick up your feet, and mold your hands to a kneecap each. Start to circle your thigh bones around your hips, 2 separate circles, with the big toes lightly touching there in the middle. Apply a little bit of pressure against your kneecaps with your palms. Encourage your thigh bones to excavate deep into the hip sockets. Notice a gentle massage going on in your lower back. Once you've circled your knees in 2 separate circles, numerous times in one direction, without changing your rhythm, start to circle back in the opposite one. As your hips begin to warm up, loosen up. Now bring your feet, now suspended in midair, back to prayer. Raise your arms directly above your heart, interlock 3 fingers and send your 4 fingertips, like you're miming the girl with the golden gun, reaching up with your fingertips to the sky. Inhale and take your arms back to frame your ears. As you exhale, rise, bring your 4 fingertips to touch the very tips of your big toes. Have your feet suspended in midair. Keep them there as you inhale and recline, feet clamped together in prayer. Exhale, slowly rise, belly drawn to spine, just warming up the core. Inhale, come back, laying back down, framing your ears with both arms. Exhale, rise, hover. Inhale, recline. Exhale, rise, keep squeezing together your feet. Inhale to recline. Last time as you exhale, hover. And inhale as you recline. Now open up your legs into a great big V. Keep your pelvis grounded, your arms framing your ears. Point and flex your feet. Just articulate your feet. Feel how that works, the Achilles, the calves, the hamstrings, the inner groins, the thighs. Once you've pointed and flexed your feet in this position several times, start to circle your feet. Let your shoulders relax, arms stay resting on the mat. Easing out some of those clunks and clicks from your ankles. Keep drawing your lower belly down towards the ground. Once you've circled your feet in every which way you can, bring them back to stillness and flex them. Take a deep breath in to prepare that. And as you exhale, once again rise, this time peering between the valley of your thighs and sending your 4 fingertips forwards. Try to prise those shoulder blades apart. Keep drawing your navel to your kidneys. Breathe deeply. Keep your legs active, feet flexed, drawing the tips of your toes towards your ears. Now zip the legs together. Take the arms back overhead and cross your ankles, point your toes. Take a deep breath in there. As you exhale, lift your pelvis, head and shoulders off the mat again, and bring your forearms, still with your hands in that mudra, over to the outside edge of your left thigh. Try to lift as much of both shoulders off the floor as possible, so both arms extended over to the outside edge of your left thigh. Keep lifting your hips. Lower your pelvis. Let your arms come back to frame your ears as you recline. Keep the legs vertical. Slowly rise, exhaling, bring your forearms over to the right of your thigh. Try to lift your pelvis, lift your hips. Reach as far over as you can to the opposite side of your thigh, trying to lift both shoulder blades off the floor. Inhale, slowly recline. Now you can take a breather, wrap your arms around your shins if you want to, or come into another set. As you exhale, rise, lift your pelvis, take your arms to the outside edge of your thigh, reach, reach, reach. Lower your pelvis, take your arms overhead, deep breath in. Exhale, lift the pelvis, shoot the toes to the heavens, lengthen your arms alongside the outer thigh again. Keep lifting your hips, squeeze together your legs, crossed ankles, pointed toes. Brilliant. Inhale, take your arms back. And now everybody just wrap your arms around your shins as you bend your knees. Circle your knees and just gently massage your back body. Let your breath be steady and deep, filling your belly, filling your chest. Feel the thighs massaging your belly as you circle your knees in both directions. From here, slip the 4 fingers under the crease of your knees and begin to, with your chin tucked in, roll like a little rocking egg forwards and backwards a few times. Once you've rolled forwards and backwards a few times, come all the way up to sit with your feet as close to your seat as possible. Wrap your right arm around your shins, do a great big windmill sail with your left hand, and position the left palm behind your tail with your fingertips pointing right. Now press firmly into your feet, inhale, rise. And as you exhale, begin to turn your navel, heart, and eventually your eyes to the right. Each time you inhale and you push down through your feet and hand, feel a rebound energy traveling up the spine. So you're hugging your knees together. You've got your arms wrapped around your shins and your thighs next to your belly, your knees next to your chest. So it's quite a contained little twist with your feet grounding. Breathe steadily. Take a moment or 3 there. And then slowly release. Wrap your left arm all the way around your shins, and then just take a big sweeping cartwheel shape with your right hand, endeavouring to position the fingertips so that they're pointing over to the left of your mat as you ground the palm. Press into your feet, take a deep breath in and feel the energy ascend. Exhale, begin to turn your navel again, and with the thighs hugged against the belly, the knees hugged against the chest, continue that twist. Breath by breath, bone by bone, up through the vertebrae to the neck. Glancing ultimately into the corners of both eyes. Each time you inhale, press down through your feet, press down through this right palm, get a little bit more upward lift through the spine to the crown. Slowly release, come facing forwards. Take a little half boat with your arms, if you want to, parallel to the floor, knees bent, squeeze together your knees. Inhale, lower your toes, and again, feel the upward lift of your heart and spine. Exhale, lift the legs, shins either parallel to the floor or legs straight, fan up the toes. Inhaling. And exhale, so firing up the core. Inhale. And exhale, great. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale, one more the same, and exhale, and either holding your half boat, your full boat, whatever you do, don't let your boat sink. If you feel you need to take a breather at any point in time, bend your knees, stay hovering on your sitting bones, heave your belly round your back. Take some steady breaths in a little introspective cosmic egg. You're holding your boat still, just keep breathing steadily, squeezing together your legs. And then everybody just cross your shins and walk your feet a little bit wider apart. Sit quietly, take a moment or two just to be there, to arrive in your cross-legged easy pose. Continue to breathe slowly and steadily as you start to pay a little attention to the neck. Bring your left hand to the left of your hip, poised on your fingertips. Take your right palm and just place it over the side of your face, cupping the ear if you can. Breathe into the left side of your neck and begin to creep your left fingertips slightly away from the left hip. Maybe ultimately the fingertips slightly floating off the floor, sending a little bit of charge of energy from your armpit to your fingertips. Just breathe into the left side of your neck. Breathe into your left upper traps. Find that stretch without forcing, without effort, without strain. Slip your hand to the left of the back of your skull. Float your fingertips more towards the back of your mat now. So your left hand beginning to flick back a little bit, and your chin, guide that towards the right of your collarbones, glancing down towards your thigh, your hip. As you breathe into that shape, find that sweet spot. As you float the fingertips behind you and gently help the chin to the chest, try not to force that shape, force that stretch on the left side of your upper back and neck. Gently release, bring your right hand to the right of your hip, left hand to cup the side of your face. And again, just repeat that sort of neck stretches on the opposite side. Again, it's more experiential than me being able to direct you into that sweet spot. Just see what happens if you extend a little bit more energy down your right arm to your shoulders, from your shoulders to your fingertips. See what happens if you float your fingertips lightly away from the mat. Bring your hand to the back of your head, chin to the left of your collarbones. Start to experiment with floating your right fingertips back. And again, just listen to your breath. Focus on this right side of your neck and upper trapezius, and just let everything just take place. Maybe a subtle shift of tension, but no effort on your part. Coming back to the midline, bring your hands back once again to cradle your head with your palms. Wing out the elbows and frame your neck with your thumbs. Begin to lean all the way over to the right. So not dissimilar to what you were doing when you were lying on your back with your feet in prayer, but just waking up the side body, breathing by the armpit to the left hip. Keep leaning your head against your palms and pressing your palms against your head. Hang out with gravity for a couple more rounds of your breath more, seeing if you can imagine a point in time when your elbow makes it all the way down to the floor, but not at the cost of lifting your left sitting bone. Good, I come back to the center with a deep breath in, and then lean over all the way to the left, and just be there again, hanging out in space, winging the right elbow tip to the heavens, grounding your right sitting bone to the earth, letting your left elbow make its way incrementally down towards the ground. Long deep breaths, maybe a bit more strategically targeted into the right side of your body. Back to the midline, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, heave your belly, arch your back, and come into a seated cat as you try to traction your shoulder blades apart. Encourage your elbow points to meet. Inhale, lean against your palms, wing out the elbow tips, both arms, and smile through heart and eyes upwards towards the sky. Exhaling, hollow the belly, arch the back, elbows meet. Inhale, lean into your palms, wing up the elbows. Exhaling, and inhale, one more round. Exhale, hollow the belly. Inhale, bloat the belly, fill the chest. Bring your hands behind you, thread your fingers again, this time with your fingers interlaced. Send your knuckles to the floor, deep breath in. As your knuckles begin to float away from the mat, so just try to lift your arms as high as you comfortably can without forcing the shoulders. Take a little twist to your right, keeping the knuckles lifted. Try to keep the spine long, crown of your head lifting upwards, so it's just twisting from the midriff and then working your way up through the thoracic vertebrae. Keep lifting the knuckles, stretching out the front of your chest. Keep the knuckles lifted, rotate back to the center, and then take another visit into that twist to the second side. Again, work your way up through the thoracic vertebrae, eventually glance into the corners of both eyes. Come back to the center. Keep lifting your knuckles. Take a slow breath in. As you exhale, switch on the feet. Keep the feet actively flexed, hinging at the hip crease. Let the knuckles potentially rise upwards towards the sky as your head and heart bow humbly towards the ground. Soften the elbows, bow the arms. Imagine pulling your fingers apart from their interlace. Some helping heavenly hands there to lift you up. And as you imagine yourself being pulled up by your hands, just slowly rise. And as you come all the way up, change the cross of your legs to pop the opposite shin in front. Bring your hands and mold them to your thighs. Let your shoulders relax. Let your chin now just drop heavy to your chest as you gaze down towards your legs. Slowly, taking your time, just take a deep breath in and incline your head over your right shoulder. Let the weight of your head be heavy and your shoulders relaxed. Take a slow exhale and transition your chin across the cradle of your collarbones over to the left. And take a deep breath in as you glance over your shoulder. Once again, transition on the exhale slowly and smoothly between the shoulders, and inhale to lean out over the shoulder and glance down towards the ground. Exhale in transition, and inhale to pause. Come back to the center line, let the weight of your chin just rest heavy on your chest. Bring your hands now to the back of your head again, interlacing your fingers as you go. Lean back into your palms, be as upright as possible through the spine. As you exhale, draw your torso over towards the thigh of your right leg and bring your left elbow in the direction of your knee. Peer up underneath your armpit, underneath your tricep, and squeeze your navel towards your kidneys. Inhale, come upright to the midline. Exhale, turn towards your left thigh this time. And lean down, drawing the elbow point to the kneecap and winging the opposite elbow towards the sky as you turn towards the left through navel, heart and eyes. Inhale, come back to the midline. One time more, exhaling and lower your elbow to the knee. Look up towards the right elbow point, winging out of sight. Inhale back to the center. Exhale back to the left, come fully upright before leaning in, bringing the elbow to the knee, sucking the navel to the kidneys, drawing the left elbow to the sky. Back to the center, take a deep breath in. Bring your hands back behind your back again like you did before, only thread your forefinger, the opposite one, in front so it feels a bit strange. Send your knuckles to the floor, smile your lips towards the rafters, lift your knuckles, take a deep breath in to prepare. Second forward bend with the opposite shin crossed in front. Focus on just opening up the front body, extending all the way over the shins. And as your knuckles rise, again, don't impose your will on your shoulders. Try not to force the knuckles towards the ceiling. Again, bow the elbows round the arms and imagine pulling your fingers apart from their bind. Finally, just allow yourself to come up again as if being pulled by the hands and bring your fists to the right of your waist. Squeeze your palms together, elbow points, shoulder blades, and again, incline your head over your right shoulder, glancing down towards the shoulder blade, squeezing the elbows, triceps, and shoulder blades together, and just gently leaning your head back subtly. See if you can just feel the stretch here in the left side of your neck and upper traps. Keep leaning against your fists. Let your waist accommodate your fists as you press your fist into the side body. Come fully upright. Take a moment or two to shift your fists to the left waist, to squish your palms together, elbow points, triceps, shoulder blades. Incline your head slightly back over the shoulder girdle. And then just find that sweet spot as you lean against your fists and breathe with awareness into any residual tension stored there in the right side of your neck and upper traps. Keep squeezing the elbow points if you want them to meet behind your waist. Back to the center line, just taking your time to release your fingers and take them out in front of you as you come to kneel on all fours, with wrists and hands set slightly wider than the width of your yoga mat. In fact, not slightly wider, actually have them on the carpet or the wooden floor on the outer edges of your mat. A little bit more work for the shoulders. Bending your right elbow, draw your left shoulder as you sink your forearm to the floor all the way towards your right wrist. Try to drape your whole left arm across the length of your mat and let your head rest on the back of your right hand if possible. Just drop in on gravity. Breathe slowly and steadily. And then make that shift, inhaling back to the midline where you began. Now taking the opposite shoulder and draping the opposite arm across the width of your mat as you bend the elbow and try to bring your forearm to the floor and lay your face onto the right wrist. Again, pause there, belly drawn to spine, buttocks floating to the sky, and really trying to sink that right shoulder arm to the mat. Come back to the center, take a deep breath in. Bring both hands back beneath your shoulders. Exhale and partway receive back onto your heels in extended child pose. Inhale, shift forwards, taking the weight bearing through to the finger pads. Exhale, suck back like an outgoing wave. Inhale, shift forwards a little further this time, bringing your hip bones towards the roots of your thumbs, shoulders relaxed, buttocks engaged. Exhale, cave your belly, retreat back, Inhale, lengthen forwards, elbows soft and tucked in close to your sides. One more of the same, exhaling again, sinking your sit bones onto the heels. And inhale, drawing your hip bones to the thumbs and lifting your gaze through navel, heart and eyes, shoulders drawing away from your ears. Look over your right shoulder, so your hips are down on the ground, so you're coming all the way forwards, Caroline. You look over your right shoulder, glancing down towards your right heel, nice strong arms. Come back through the center, look over your left shoulder. Come back to the center, exhale, lower your front body to the ground. Tuck in your chin to the collarbones, cave your belly to your spine, tuck under your toes, take your sit bones almost to your heels, lift your knees and find downward facing dog pose. With feet hip width apart and parallel, let your head hang heavy. Spread the weight forwards to your finger pads and just begin to palpate your mat with your feet as you slowly walk out your dog and stretch out your hamstrings, decompress the vertebrae of your spine. Bring a strong sense of engagement deep into your belly. As you just breathe slowly, smoothly, steadily, and continue to alternately bend the knees, spread the weight forwards to the finger pads and try to avoid being heavy in your wrists. Then come to stillness, having worked evenly those legs, and bring your heels towards the floor, lift and spread your toes, feel the kneecaps, calf muscles and thighs all rise. Hollow the belly right up into your spine. Continue to let the head be heavy, the elbows be soft, and slightly round the arms, bow the elbows out wide. Lower your toes, look forwards beyond the bridge of your nose, bend both knees, and take a little light bunny hop if you can, between your hands. And as you arrive, if you had to walk up, that's absolutely fine. Just hang out in your forward bend. Bring your hands to the back of your head. Arrange your thumbs either side of your neck and wing out your elbow tips towards the side of the room that you're in. Begin to now pendulum your torso from side to side. Keeping the elbows winging wide and softly alternately bending the knees again as you swing from side to side. Gradually build on the range of movement and start to circumnavigate the outer edges of your feet, traveling around towards the heels and across the fronts of the toes. Find yourself coming back to the center line, elbows ringing out wide, and then begin to draw your left elbow towards the left side of the room that you're in and try to peer forwards and ahead towards the front of your mat. At the same time, try to straighten your legs and draw your left sitting bone towards the sky. Try to imagine turning your whole front body, your chest, your heart, your eyes, towards the front of your mat beyond your toes. Keep your head cradled in your palms. So Lucy, bring your head into your hands. Keep the elbows winging wide and draw the left elbow to the right side of the mat. You're trying to turn your whole body towards me. Come back to the center and pause. Let the weight of your head hang heavy. And then begin to draw your right elbow to the left and turn your whole front body towards the front of your mat beyond your toes. Adding that twist and drawing your right sitting bone upwards towards the sky. Take some steady breaths, keeping the elbows out of sight. That's it. Come back to the center line, heavy head again, and release your hands. Let your arms hang heavy. Bend your knees, plug your feet broadly spread into the mat, and squeeze your navel to your spine as one bone at a time. You stack the vertebrae of your spine and come to stand in mountain pose when you're ready. Take a moment to be still there. Spread the weight evenly through the feet. Send a little bit of energetic charge down the arms to the tips of your fingers and thumbs. Turn your palms forwards. A heavily weighted tail and neutral pelvis. Big ears, crown of your head lifting upwards, your shoulders melting down. Try to ensure that your chin is parallel to the ground. From here, standing at the front of your mat, rise up onto your tippy toes, raise your arms to frame your ears, and then exhale and slowly coming down, come into a little squat, drawing your sit bones. It is okay for your knees to do so to your heels, otherwise just come as far as your knees will allow. Stay balanced on your tippy toes as you rise up. Inhaling, exhale, ground the heels and aid your wing your hands back down by your sides. Inhale, raise the arms forwards and ahead, come balancing on your toes. Keep the arms framing your ears, imagine sliding your back down the wall behind, spine suspended from your crown like a plumb line as you come into the squat. Press your toe pads into the floor, stay balanced on your toes, come all the way up, strengthening your legs, honing your balancing skills. Exhale, bring your hands back down by your thighs. One more of those, inhale, rise up onto your toes serenely. Exhale, lower yourself down, imagining sliding your back down the wall. Sit bones landing, if it's appropriate, on the heels. Pause. Inhale, fire up the legs. Slowly rise all the way up towards the sky. Exhale, ground your heels and bring your hands back down by your thighs. Slowly from here, now just raise your arms like you did before, forwards and high, and lift your right knee, lift your right thigh. Focus softly on something that's ahead of you. Send your right foot forwards and stamp your footprint with your foot flexed on the wall ahead. Keep the thigh in line with the hip, bend the knee and lower the toes. Inhale again, fire up the hamstring nice and slow. Exhale, lower the foot. Inhaling and exhale. This time, bring your hands palms facing the sky, tucked in either side of your armpits. Ooh. I'm just about to lose control. Again, unlike me, bending the knee, stepping your right foot back and forming a triumphant warrior one. Ta-da! And once you're there, square your hips, spread your fingers, palms facing each other, as if you're holding a ball of light above your crown. Breathe steadily and draw your elbows out wide like cartoon cactus trees or goalpost arms. And as you exhale, as if your arms are moving through a resistant force field, bring your elbows, forearms, palms to prayer. Inhale, squeeze together your shoulder blades, draw back your elbows. Exhale, squeeze, navel to kidneys, forearms together, palms to prayer. Inhale. Another one of these, exhale, squeeze. And inhale. Last one the same, exhaling again. And inhale. And then raise the arms, come back into your warrior one. Exhale, heavily weight the tail. Slowly from here, step up to the top of your mat, bring your feet together, hands to prayer. Take a moment there, blink, close your eyes and settle to quietly arrive back in the stillness of mountain pose. Bring your hands back down by your thighs. Inhale as your arms and your left thigh rise this time. Find your balance, keep the hips aligned, draw your navel to your spine. Inhale, send your left foot forwards, foot flexed. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale. Exhale deeply. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale again. And exhale, bend the knee. Keep the thigh high as you bring your palms facing the sky, tucked in either side of your armpits. Back and turn your left foot to an angle of approximately 45 degrees, but that angle is not the deal breaker. Try to keep the hips aligned. Lift your gaze, slightly tilt your gaze through heart and eyes as both feet support your weight evenly. Rebend your elbows, fan out your fingers down your palms, squeeze together the shoulders. Again, that feeling of resistance in the air as you exhale and bring your elbows together, forearms together, palms to prayer. Inhale, open the windows to your heart, squeeze together your shoulder blades. Exhaling, we feel the feet grounding, muscles toned, clinging to the bones. Inhale. Exhaling. And inhale deeply. As you exhale last time, feel that resistance in the air. And then inhale, take the arms out wide, raise them upwards towards the sky and hold that orb of light above your crown, shoulders relaxing, tilting your gaze through heart and eyes. Step up to the top of your mat again and gather your palms to prayer. Stand quietly in mountain pose with a neutral spine, heavy tail. Ready to move on and change sides. Slowly circle the room that you're in with your fingertips and steepen your hands above your crown. Swan dive this time, hinge at the hip crease, fold into your thighs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, soften the knees. Step your right foot back as far as it'll go, turning the little toe side of your right foot so it's pretty much parallel with the mat. Backward cartwheel your way into warrior two, looking out in front of you. Spread your arms, stretch out from your collarbones, heart center to your fingertips. Heavily weight the tail. Your left knee is in front and it's tracking the smallest toes. Arms are outstretched. Look towards the middle finger of your left hand. Now bring your hands behind the back of your head again, so it's a bit of a theme. Wing out the elbows. Press your head into your palms and support your head with your palms. Exhale, begin to lean out over your left thigh, tilting your elbow towards your knee and raising the elbow upwards towards the sky. Keep breathing deeply. As you breathe into that shape, keep the neck in line with the rest of your spine and try to barrel your chest along with your navel towards the sky. Supporting your weight, keeping the feet grounding firmly. Inhale and rise up again. Now with the head leaning into the palms, begin to incline the right elbow towards the right thigh this time and drop a little bit deeper into the left hip. Keep winging the elbow tips so that they're out of your peripheral vision. Breathe into what's there, long deep breaths. Back to the center line, deceptively strong there. Come back into your warrior two, arms outstretched and looking out in front of you. Start to lean out over that left thigh again before hinging into your triangle shape. Reach up high with your fingertips to the sky. Let the back of your neck stay in line with the rest of your spine. Start to circumnavigate the room that you're in with your right fingertips. Imagining tracing a circle around the rim of a huge clock face. And your right arm like the hands of the clock telling the time. Work slowly, smoothing out any rough edges as you transition from one circle to the next. And then just start to go back the opposite way in your own time. Having dialed back in the opposite direction, come back and find stillness, open heart, hips, and just add that little twist in your triangle shape. Slowly from here, rebend that front knee, take a reverse warrior as you inhale slowly, reverse that warrior, and in slow motion, Cartwheel your hands and reframe your front foot. Spin on your back foot and shift the left foot high to the sky, coming into a split down facing dog. Elevate the left toes high, squish your right heel to the floor, keeping the heel within the frame of your hip. Bend your left knee like a dog having a pee against a tree and try to elevate the kneecap to the ceiling whilst peering out over to the left underneath your armpit. Unwind slowly, take your time. Shift forwards, taking plank as both feet land, and exhale, either knees, chest, chin, with your elbows tucked in, or hover in low plank into either cobra or up dog, make your back bend. Exhale and find your down facing dog again. If your head heard child pose, then you're in that, as you know, but just breathe steady into whatever pose you've chosen. Let the breath be steady, let the breath be deep, and look back towards your feet. Take a moment or two as you breathe into that shape, just to prepare yourself, arriving back at the top of your mat in your standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift again. Look forward through your heart and eyes. Exhale, squeeze your navel to your kidneys and fold back into your thighs. Inhale, circle the room that you're in with your fingertips, heavy tail, hinge at the hips. Come standing in raised mountain pose. I'll change sides. Exhale, hinge at the hip crease and fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Now step your left foot back as far as it'll go, bringing the little toe of your left foot side of your foot pretty much parallel with the back of your mat. The backward cartwheel takes you up into warrior two. And as you set the tail, open the heart and hips, spread your arms, switch on those arms all the way to the fingertips. Think of your spine vertical at this point in time, your arms super switched on, gazing towards the middle finger of your front hand. Then bend the elbows, but change nothing else about your body as you cradle your head in your palms. Lean into your palms and frame your neck once again with your thumbs. Hinging at the hip crease, begin to extend your torso out over the right thigh. Work with a nice strong connection with the earth through the feet, good strong core as you hover your elbow towards the knee and draw the opposite elbow towards the sky. Breathe as smoothly as you can, quite strong. Still supporting your head in your palms, inhale, come back up to the midline. And then keeping that front knee bent, tracking the smallest toes, lean back, drawing the elbow towards the back thigh, winging the opposite elbow towards the sky. You might drop a little bit deeper into the hip, but watch that knee is staying safe over the heel as you breathe into that shape steadily. Come back to the center with a deep breath in. Outstretch your arms parallel once again with your mat. Take your time to straighten your front leg as you breathe in and rise. Straighten the front leg, switch on the muscles of your legs, then reach out over your front thigh, hinge at the hip crease, not in a hurry to do so, and lightly place your hand on your shin, ankle, foot, block, whatever you choose. Try to keep that space between your side body, your waist, and your thigh as you begin to circle the room that you're in with your left fingertips again. So clearing out the debris from your shoulders, following the progress of your fingertips with your eyes. And then once you've circled one way, pause and dial the hand of your clock back in the opposite direction smoothly. And once you've dialed your arm around the room, one more time, come back and find your triangle shape, turning your navel, your heart, and your gaze towards the sky. Now rebend the knee as you rise. Take a reverse warrior, bringing your hand onto your back thigh and framing your face with your right arm. A slow motion cartwheel coming up now as you cartwheel your hands and bring them to frame your front foot. Spin on your back foot, set the heel within the frame with your hip. Sweep the right leg all the way up to the sky. Split your dog, hang your head, squish your heel, bend your right knee, and again, externally rotate the thigh. Peer out, over to the right, underneath your right tricep, right armpit. Pause there and really breathe into the pocket of that right hip. The transition pivots you back to float into your plank as both feet ground. As you exhale, take knees, chest, chin, and with your elbows tucked in, coming down into cobra, firmly into your palms as you rise. Keep the shoulders drawn back. And then exhale and lower your chin, your chest to the mat. Bring your hands once again to cradle your head. I said that's a bit of a theme. And once you're cradling your head in the back of your hands, wing your elbows out wide. And again, reframe your neck with your thumbs. Hover the chin in line with the center of your collarbones. Press down the tops of your feet. Activate the legs so you can feel the kneecaps slightly lifting off the floor. Then slowly inhale and rise, lifting your sternum, lifting your chin, keeping your elbows wide. Exhale, lower your tip of your nose back to the ground. Inhale, lift, leaning into your palms. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise, strengthening the upper back, opening the chest. Exhale, lower. It doesn't have to be far that you rise. Inhale, press down your feet. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Release your hands from the back of your head. Make a little bench upon which you can place your forehead with your hands. Once you've created that little pad with your hands, place your forehead on your top hand and bring your big toes together. Let your heels drop apart. Just listen to your heartbeat. Focus on your breath and give the full weight of your body to the gravitational pull of the earth as you breathe. Long, deep breaths all the way down to the tips of your toes. Breathing out and emptying all the way to the bottom. Breathing in and filling up all the way to the top. Now up. Now up, stretch both arms to frame your ears. Stretch out both legs and press down the tops of your toes. Keep your right hand and your left foot grounded and just elevate your left arm and your right leg. Slightly lift your chin, but keep it in line with the collarbones and look forwards along the bridge of your nose. Lifting your limbs, send energy from your armpit to your fingertips, hips to your toes. Now release the left hand and right leg and replicate that on the opposite side. Floating the right arm, floating the left leg, looking forwards and down at the ground. Lower both your right arm and your left leg. Now raise both arms. And once again, draw the arms out of your peripheral sight line. Bend your elbows and draw your elbow points towards your side ribs, fanning out your fingers, pressing down the tops of your feet. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhale, draw back, elbows to kidneys. Inhale, reach forwards. Exhale, draw back, elbows to kidneys. Inhale, reach forwards, take your time. Exhale, elbows to the side ribs, all the way to the shoulder blades if you can. Inhale, reach forwards. Last one, quite strenuous, I know. Exhaling. And inhale. Make another little pillow and pop your forehead on your top hand. When you're ready, just bring your hands tucked in by your side ribs. Tuck your chin into the cradle of your collarbones. And after those back bends, just come all the way to kneel on all fours. Rising up, press down your toes and take a counter stretch for your back. As you cave your belly and scoop it up into your rib cage, come into cat stretch. Chin to the collarbones, seeking at your navel with your gaze. Slowly from here, draw back with toes tucked under onto your heels and sit upright. Sit upright with your thighs together, ankles together, heels side by side. Take a moment or two just to settle, getting a little stretch for those groaning toes. And breathing steadily with a soft smile on your lips directed down at your feet. Sweep out the arms, inhale. Really open up the chest. And as I face you, so because you want to open up the arms, soft bending your elbows. And then wrap your left arm over your right arm, binding your arms in eagle and tractioning the shoulder blades apart. Poised on your heels and drawing your forearms vertical forwards in front of your face, breathe into the back of the heart. Another little stretch for the shoulder. Take your forearms over to the right, glance down over your left shoulder, and let the shoulders melt away from your ears as the weight of your head drops down towards the shoulder blade. Breathe into what's there. Continue to smile sweetly at your toes. Back to the center. Inhale and sweep out the arms. Really open up the chest. Exhale, wrap the right arm over the left. You're nearly there. Take your forearms forwards. And as you draw the forearms forwards, try to put up as tall as you can. If you're really struggling with the feet, then come onto the tops of your toenails instead as you kneel. Bring your forearms left, eyes right. Keep your neck long, your shoulders soft. Nearly there. Deep breaths. Say a little prayer for those toes. Back to the center. Unravel your arms. Give your feet that well-earned round of applause. And then just tapping your toes into the floor, little drum roll, before coming all the way back onto your heels and just taking a little counter stretch, rolling back. If you can, lift your shins and knees, do so. If you can't, just kneel. Bring your hands to prayer and balance there, squeezing together your inner thighs, drawing up through your spine. Thumbs resting against the front of your chest. After that little counter toe stretch, you're balancing on your toes, Caroline, your shins, just hovering off the floor if you can. You're upright. And you're just getting a stretch into the front of your ankles, tops of your feet. And then slowly iron your ankles, iron your shins back to the mat. And just pop your sit bones to one side or the other of your heels. Outstretch your legs in front of you and find your seated staff pose. Point and flex your feet, and again, just get a bit more circulation moving between the toes and the hips. And once you've had a little point and flex of your feet, just see if you can circle your feet a bit. Can you see my feet? I've got a lot of furniture in this room. I've had to shift. Circle your feet, and then go back in the opposite direction. Once you've circled your feet in both directions, just give your knees a little bounce. Just whack your mat with the backs of your thighs and loosen up your legs. Keep sitting upright and tall. And then just come to stillness, switch on the legs, raise the arms, palms facing, holding that orb of light, like you're holding a full moon above your crown. And then exhale and let that moon travel to the horizon, slowly fold. And as the moon drops over the horizon, just let your hands either come to your feet or come to the shins or come to the mat either side of your legs. But wherever you've placed your hands, don't let getting them there, placing them there, involve congesting your chest with your shoulders. Keep looking forwards through your heart and eyes. Let your shoulders melt away. Your tailbone slip away behind you. And each time you breathe in, feel your heart moving towards your feet. And each time you breathe out, sense yourself just moving into that space a little bit more. Both physically and mentally, find yourself deepening the effect of this pose. Balloon the breath into your back body. Feel your back expand, your belly rise. And as you exhale, feel your navel cave back to your spine and fold a little deeper. Very slowly, tuck the chin into the collarbones, slip your hands along your limbs, come all the way upright. Take a moment or two to pause, bring your hands behind you, fingertips pointing towards your feet, squeeze the elbows together. Option 1, just stay on your seat, lift your heart and smile. Option 2, lifting into a full plank, lifting your hips, strengthening and toning the arms. Option 3, to bend your knees and to come into something halfway in between, a tabletop with feet hip width apart, but strengthening and toning the arms, upper body, building strength, weight bearing through the wrists. Wherever you chose to be, come out of it when you're ready. Exhaling to lower your seat. Take a glance behind you, check where you round up on your mat, and if you need a bit more space, shuffle your bottom forwards to resume rolling like a little rolling egg, forwards and backwards over the surface of your mat a few times. Having massaged your back, just come to recline with both knees bent. And as you bring your knees bent close to your chest, outstretch your arms and ground your palms to the floor. With your arms stretched out, slowly exhale and squeeze the knees strongly together, side by side, as you hover the knees over to the left side, somewhere in the proximity of your left elbow, perhaps. Now secure your top knee with your left palm and just draw the little finger into the crease of the knees. Endeavouring to stack the knees and just stretching out the side body, draw forwards your top hip, your right hip. Meantime, turn the right palm to the sky and turn your face towards the root of your thumb. Breathe into that twist, slowly, steadily, trying to turn your navel and your heart along with your eyes to the right. Keep breathing slowly and steadily as you outstretch both arms, flipping the palms back once again to press into the ground. Remind yourself that you're really keeping those knees together. Imagine you're holding 50p between your knees. As they rise, keep the knees side by side as you slowly hover the knees back over the chest. Take a tiny shimmy to the left. I forgot to give you that cue before, sorry. And as you exhale, draw your knees to your right elbow. Slowly keep the squeeze in those knees. Bring your hand onto the side of the top knee and hook the little finger into the crease of the top knee. Trying to stack the knees, stack the thighs, stack the hips. Gently coax forwards your left sitting bone. Heavily ground your left shoulder, turn your left palm to face the sky and your face towards it. Breathe into that twist and start to try to wring out the breath a little bit more, turning your navel along with your heart again and your eyes towards the left this time. In that contained little twist, just breathe into whatever feelings and sensations are there. Extending both arms, regrounding both palms and squeezing together your knees strongly. Lift your knees back over your hips one last time. Wrap your arms around your shins, bring your forehead towards your knees, come into a little fetal ball as your shoulders relax and your pelvis stays on the mat. Bloat your belly, fill your chest as you breathe in. Empty your belly, empty your chest as you breathe out. Finally, let your head and shoulders recline. Mold your hands to your kneecaps again, one kneecap each. Keep the big toes together and just to tease out any residual tension from your lumbar spine. Just open up those hips some more. Just circle your thigh bones a few times in one direction around the hips again. 2 knees moving in 2 separate circles like you did at the beginning. 2 knees, 2 separate circles, one way, and then turning both knees in 2 separate circles in the opposite direction. And finally, just bring the soles of your feet, still in prayer, down onto the ground. Let the little toe sides of both feet rest on the mat. Let your knees drop out to the side. Bring your hands back onto your belly, onto your chest. Returning to that pose where we began, supine butterfly. Breathing into the pelvis, breathing into the pockets of your hips, breathing into your belly, your chest, right up to your collarbones and armpits. Breathing out, draining from the top to the bottom. Breathing in, filling from the bottom to the top. Focusing on what's there, just let your hands stay there for a few quiet moments more. Feel the gravitational pull of the earth. Feel the soft rising and falling of your belly. Tap into the metronome beat of your heart. Let everything settle. Let everything be just as it is. Right here, right now, at this moment in space. Imagine yourself like a shimmering star and lighting up the night sky. Eventually just unpeel your hands from your belly, your chest. Stretch out your legs and float your arms overhead. Take a full-blown stretch between the extremities of your body. Big, big stretch. As you exhale, bend your right knee and hover your forehead towards the knee as you rise. As you inhale, stretch out your right leg alongside your left. Reframe your ears with your arms. As you exhale, bend your left knee, hover. Inhale, reach back. Both knees together, exhaling. And inhale, take a long, deep stretch between the extremities. Bring your palms together, interlace your fingers, send your forefingers back, cross your right ankle over your left, clamp your ears with your arms, take yourself into a crescent moon shape, illuminating the sky. Breathe steadily as your feet and your hands slide over to the left. Try to imagine ballooning the breath into the side body. Weighting the left ankle with the right, clamping your ears tight, expanding the capacity of your lungs. Step your right foot over to the right of your mat. Let your left foot follow as you cross ankles and shift your arms, clamping your ears over to the right too. Reform that second crescent moon and balloon your breath into your side waist, into your side ribs. Imagine how much breath you need to breathe all the way down to the heel. And then empty completely and just feel everything soften as it melts into the ground. Finally, just take your legs back to the midline, flex your feet, stay with your fingers interlaced as you re-cradle the back of your head with your palms and frame your neck with your thumbs. Take a deep breath in to prepare, elbows out of sight, neck long, face turn to the ceiling, raise your head and shoulders off the floor, flex your feet, peer down towards your toes and squeeze your navel towards your spine. Once again, just building a little bit of heat before we come to Shavasana. Hey, I think you must have got a bit of the wrong memo on the time, but this is recorded so you can have it in a minute. Breathe steady, breathe deep. Slowly release, let your head and shoulders come back down to the ground. Release your hands, arch your back and just settle your shoulders away from your ears. Let your feet drop out to the side, your buttocks relax. Take a moment or two just to be there, check in on yourself. And although I've done my best to let you build up a little bit more heat, maybe you do need blankets, socks, extra layers to place on your body here. Once you're comfortable and you know that you're going to retain heat, bring yourself back to this symmetrical resting shape. Let everything just settle, be as it is. Close your eyes. Focus on the screen in front of your closed eyes. And imagine the mirror reflection of yourself on that screen, lying peacefully. See your body breathing. Ever so gently, your belly rising and falling. a gentle smile on your lips, no trace of a frown on your brow. Simply continue to observe that image of yourself resting. And as you see that image of yourself resting, see yourself as a whole, a resting body, a resting mind, a resting soul. Continue to hold that image of yourself and let this feeling of rest flourish, multiply, grow, expand into every cell, every pore, every sinew, every fibre. Gently begin to roll from side to side on the back of your head. Gently begin to brush the tips of your thumbs across the tips of your forefingers. Wriggle your toes, circle your hands, circle your feet. If you're in time, take a long, deep stretch, framing your ears with your arms and pointing your toes. As you exhale, bend your knees and gather up your legs and your arms as you hug your thighs, knees down towards belly and chest. Come into that fetal ball. Remain in that little ball as you roll over to one side to pause there and rest in recovery. Breathe into your belly and ask yourself how you feel. And pushing yourself up to come sitting quietly with crossed legs and closed eyes in cross-legged easy pose. Bring your fingertips slightly adrift of your hips and poised on the top of your sitting bones. Take a deep breath in and feel that rebound energy rising up the spine, piercing your crown and shining as an orb of light right above the crown of your head. As you exhale, feel that light pouring down the spine, sending long, grounding, shimmering roots deep into the earth's bedrock. Let your fingertips away from the floor as you breathe in. And as you exhale, pull your hands home to the heart space. Bowing your head and resting your chin at the cradle of your collarbones to pause quietly, to prayerfully, privately look into your heart today and to lift whoever it is, whatever situation you find is there. Resting in your heart today. Offering you all a nice day. Thank you very much for joining me. Lovely to see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope that shook out a few cobwebs and built up a little bit of heat and strength. So thank you very much, and I'll see you later in the week ahead. Bye.